Hello and welcome everyone to the 10th edition of the European Lunar Symposium. This is the third time in a row that we are organizing this meeting in a fully virtual mode, but we very much intend to return to an in-person meeting next year. I think we were one of the first meetings to try it fully virtual mode, and hopefully we are trying it for the very final time, as most meetings now shift to either in person or in a hybrid mode. So thank you very much for your participation, especially during this difficult last couple of years. We very much appreciate it, but one good thing that has happened is that we have been able to actually bring together many more people from various corners of the world onto this platform than it was possible when we were um, only in person. So that's positive, and let's start on that positive note. We have over 350 people registered for this meeting, plus many more who would be watching us online through our YouTube channel. So I suspect, we would have in excess of 500 participants over the next 3 days. Now, there are some things that I should remind everybody who is taking part in this meeting, as we call it our code of conduct. But I'm hopeful that I don't need to remind everyone, because by now everybody has become so used to attending these meetings that you would know that when you are not speaking, you mute your microphone. You are welcome to keep your video on, but it's again your choice. If you have a bandwidth issue, you might want to keep your video off when you are not talking or asking questions or interacting with the presenters. You can raise your hand. Hopefully that function works. Otherwise, we can sort that out. If you want to ask a question, please raise your hand and chairs would bring you in if the time permits. Again, a reminder to all the speakers, I'm sure you have already been told a few times already, that all presenters have a total of 15 minutes for their presentation, except for those taking part in the town hall, and I will explain the difference. So those presenters who are taking part in the town hall sessions, which are the first session and the last session of this meeting, you have 15 minutes for your talk, and then there would be a succession of talks in that town hall meeting, followed by a panel discussion where we have set aside a lump of time, about 20 minutes to 30 minutes, where all the presenters in that session would be able to interact with the attendees. But other than that, the bulk of the program, every presenter has 15 minutes, in which 12 minutes are nominally allocated for your talk, plus 3 minutes for Q&A and changeover. And chairs will announce how they are going to manage this, but most likely you are going to be given warnings at certain period of time. And at the end of 15 minutes, we have to move on in order to keep on time. What else do I have? And those of you who are actually doing poster presentations, you have been given an opportunity to present your poster through a lightning talk, which are 3 minutes each, 2 minutes for your presentation and 1 minute for any quick question or changeover. Some of you may be very familiar with social media platform and Twitter and such. So if you feel compelled and interested, please do tweet the content of this meeting, what you hear, what your thoughts are. And if you want to use a hashtag, please use the hashtag ELS 2022. I think that's all about the code of conduct and any pre-announcement that I had on my list. If I've forgotten, I'm sure I will be reminded of that by my colleagues who are around. But let's move on into the more formal part of this meeting. Um, I forgot to introduce myself, which always happens, or often happens. My name is Mahesh Anand, and I'm at the Open University, and I'm one of the organizers of this symposium, along with a fantastic team of colleagues from all over the Europe. The team from NASA Survey, without whom we couldn't be doing this meeting. And I would like to mention the two Science Organizing Committee chairs, Dr. Evelyn Fury and Dr. Philip Rees, without whom we wouldn't have been able to accomplish this program. So thanks to everybody who has worked very hard in putting this meeting. It's not easy. It looks easy, but actually to bring it all to a successful program, which I hope you will see over the next 3 days and deliver it, is quite a tough job. So I think it is already a good success, and I hope that it will be even a greater success. You would agree in the next 3 days. Unfortunately, because of the time differences, we don't have everybody present right now who would like to be present, especially my co-chair, Greg Schmidt, director of NASA Survey. So instead, what he has done is he has recorded a brief address to all the delegates, which I would like to ask Ricky to now play, please.
Hello, my name is Greg Schmidt, and I'm director of NASA's Solar System Exploration Research Virtual Institute, or SURVEY, one of the co-sponsors of this great meeting that you're about to start. I'd like to welcome you to the European Lunar Symposium. It's been a great joy helping over these past years with organizing this meeting, and when we had it in person to attend it as well. I'm very proud that our institute helped establish this meeting, and I remember well 10 years ago when we had our first one in Berlin. At that point, going back to the moon was but a dream, and now it's nearly a reality. We have CLIPS landings by commercial providers scheduled for later this year. We have the Artemis 1 launch also scheduled for later this year. And then we have Artemis 3 in 2025, which will bring the first woman and the first person of color to the lunar surface. And what an amazing thing that's going to be. I'm proud of our accomplishments in bringing our science and the excitement of lunar exploration to a more diverse community. But of course, we have a long way to go, and I look forward to that journey along with all of you, our European partners. I also look forward to seeing you in person in Padua in 2023 next year. It's been a joy and a pleasure helping you with the virtual aspects of this meeting since the pandemic started. But as we all know, there's no substitute for seeing each other in person. I look forward to that very much. I want to wish you a really great meeting and look forward to joining it myself. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So as Greg mentioned, we have been on a journey. We started this journey in 2012 with our very first meeting in Berlin. And here we are 10 years down the line, and we are still as excited as we were when we started with this conference. And as I mentioned before, this is a partnership between Survey and all its European nodes. And we very much hope that next year we would be able to hold this in person with our Italian node in Padua, and details of which we will announce during the course of this meeting and confirm it afterwards. So I want to make sure that we start our first presentation right on time in case there are people who were going to join it right at that moment. And we have got 3 minutes or so remaining. So at this point in time, I would like to give others an opportunity, if something has arisen in the meantime, that they want to ask a quick question, anybody's having any issues or anything such, before we actually move into the first session. So effectively, we have got next 2-3 minutes of discussion time, Q&A time. Vicky, can I confirm with you that people are able to actually put questions in chat or raise hands if they wish to?
Yes, they can. And let's have anyone throw something in the chat. Let's see that pop in. Yeah. There we go. Thank you, Daniel. Be the guinea pig.
Right. That's great. Somebody's asking for the link for the YouTube to be posted here in the chat.
I can get that out in just a moment.
Okay, Roma is asking, we cannot unmute ourselves though, correct? I think that is correct, Roma, but Ricky would confirm. I think chairs can do that.
That is correct. If you're going to be presenting, I will be promoting you to a presenter right before your talk or before your session.
And if somebody asks a question, who is going to unmute them?
I can do that as well as any of the presenters.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so that question is answered. There was one more question I thought I saw. So the YouTube link. Yes, I was going to mention that when the presentation is going, maybe we should all refrain from actually dropping any question in the chat because it tends to distract people. So what I would suggest is that you type that question in your window and you hit submit as soon as the presentation is finished. If that works for you and if that makes sense, because that's otherwise it might actually distract the speakers. Okay, and we've got the YouTube link. We will make sure that the YouTube link for tomorrow is posted at the start of tomorrow's session. And likewise, if there are any changes in the program and things, we will simply be updating the website so that we don't need to be sending lots of emails to people. Okay. Good. Caroline asked, can we actually turn off the messages tone somewhere in the settings?
Yes, you can if you go to the ellipsis at the top, the more. From that drop-down menu, there should be a mute notifications option.
Right. Okay, good. I think that's all set, and I think we should get going now.